You are watching the Lore Masters, the #1 place for competitive Lorcana content. Now, let's do it.
Hi guys, it's James from the Lore Masters, and we are back again with another set review. And this time we are going through Rise of the Floodborn. So similar to my previous review videos, I do a colour day by day. We're starting day 1 with Amber, so let's get into it. So first of all, we have 4-drop Bashful, Hopeless Romantic. He's got 2 power, 5 toughness with 3 lore points. This character can't quest unless you have another 7 Dwarves character in play. Now the 7 Dwarves characters I think are going to be fairly casual fun cards. I don't think they're going to see a ton of competitive success. Doesn't mean you can't have fun with them though. This one is not too bad. With the Snow White he becomes a free drop. So you can play this as early as turn 3. Play the Snow White on turn 2. And then once you have another dwarf in play next turn, you can quest for free. 5 toughness isn't too bad, so he's got a little bit of survivability. But yeah, not too bad at all. Right, next we've got 6-drop Christopher Robin Adventurer. 2 power, 6 toughness with 2 lore points. Whenever you ready this character, if you have 2 or more other characters in play, gain 2 lore. So this card does look good on paper. However, I think in reality it's not going to trigger all that much. Because he has to unexert himself with 2 other characters on board, as soon as he does exert himself, your opponent is just going to try and kill it as best they can. And I think 9 times out of 10 they will succeed. So I just don't think it's all going to trigger that much. So as much as it looks good and the idea is good, I just don't think it's going to be overall worth it, sadly. Okay, so we got 1-drop Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. 1 power, 2 toughness with 1 lore point. She has Singer free. So this card I think is very useful. It's going to find its home in a lot of Amber decks. It could be paired with lots of different colours because there's lots of good free cost songs. She definitely has a home in the Rockstar Stitch deck because she does trigger Rockstar Stitch. And I'm sure there are some songs you can use with her as well. But yeah, very, very good. I think this card is going to see a lot of competitive success. Which brings us on to a 7-drop Cobra Bubbles, just a social worker. He's a 5/9 with 2 lore points. He's basically just an Amber Triton from the first set, but he's now a rare instead of an uncommon. There's not too much to say about this one. He doesn't fit into any particular deck. I think he's just probably going to be good for a draft or a sealed event. Okay, so we've got 3-drop Doc, Leader of the 7 Dwarfs. So 2 power, 3 toughness with 2 lore points. Whenever this character quests, you pay 1 less ink for the next character you play this turn. So this card doesn't actually need to be played in a 7 Dwarves deck. He can just be slotted in an Amber deck of your choice. Because it does mean when he does quest, you pay 1 less ink. So you'll be able to have 4 ink on board. So you can play a 5-drop as early as turn 4. So that can go in any different deck of your choice. Like I say, you don't have to play this in a 7 Dwarves deck. I think it may have some success in some kind of a ramp deck. But we'll see. He may just be a little bit too slow. People prefer to play Mickey Mouse Detective over him, but we'll see. I think it's quite good, but I'm just not sure whether it will see play. Okay, so we got 3-drop Dopey, Always Playful. He's a 2/2 with 1 lore point. When this character is banished, your other 7 Dwarves characters get +2 power until the start of your next turn. So again, all part of the 7 Dwarves package. This one's not too bad. It means that he can kind of crash in, give all your other 7 Dwarves a power boost, and kind of they can trade up. He's not so great on the defense though, because your opponent will challenge it last, so you won't be able to get the boost from it. So you have to play this card quite aggressively and crash it into your opponent's stuff. It does become a 2-drop with Snow White, so that is worth noting as well. But again, the 7 Dwarfs are all meant to be casual fun cards. Okay, so you got 5-drop Eudora, Accomplished Seamstress. So she's a 1/9 with 2 lore points, no ability. Nothing too much to say about this card. It's honestly just pack filler, so I'm going to move on. So you got 3-drop Gaston, Baritone Bully. He's a 3/3 with 1 lore point and Singer 5. So Ariel, I forgot the name of it now. The 3-drop Ariel had a lot of success in many different decks. So this could as well. The question is would you play Ariel if she didn't look at the top 4 and pick a song? Maybe not. So this card may just miss the mark in terms of being played. I guess we'll find out. But it is also worth mentioning that this card does discount the 2-drop LeFou from the first set to make it a 1-drop. You didn't do that before without crossing into different colours, so it may be worth playing, it may be not, I'm not sure at this point. Right, so you got 2-drop Grand Duke, Advisor to the King. So he's a 2/2 with 1 lore point. Your Prince, Princess, King and Queen characters gain 1 power. So there isn't an archetype that uses all of those character types at the moment. The best one so far is Princess, because it just has to have all the Princess support. So you might be able to slot this card into there. But Princess decks as a whole are just casual fun decks. They're not going to do much in the meta. So use this card if you want to play that. But yeah, it's not going to have a ton of competitive success, this one. Okay, so I've got another dwarf. So it's 4-drop Grumpy, Bad Tempered. So he's 3 power, 4 toughness. Your other 7 dwarves characters get 1 power. So he's basically the lord of the deck. So bumps up your other dwarves, so allows them to trade up. Combining this with Dopey, and you give them all quite a big power boost so they can trade up. Becomes a 3-drop with Snow White. Again, just a casual card, but it's not a bad one to use if you are going to be playing the 7 dwarves. And then we've got a 5-drop Happy, Good Natured. So he's 3 power, 5 toughness with support, with 2 lore points as well. This card does work well with the power boosting from Grumpy and from Dopey as well, because all of those additional power boosts that you get, you can give to your other dwarves. So one of them can really crash into something big and get rid of it. Nothing much more to say on this one. Okay, so we've got 7-drop King Louis, Jungle VIP. 3 power, 8 toughness with 2 lore points. Whenever another character is banished, you may remove up to 2 damage from this character. So it's not too bad, this one. The 3 power means it's not going to be killing a lot in combat, but it means that he's got a little bit of survivability. Whether he is actually useful in a competitive metagame, I'm not entirely convinced. I think if you're going to be paying 7 ink to play a character, you'd expect that character to have an on-entry ability, or at least some kind of survivability outside of a large toughness. Something like Ward, maybe, or Evasive. I just don't think this card will actually just cut it, but it's still quite fun, I like it. Okay, so you got 6-drop Mickey Mouse, Friendly Face. Whenever this character quests, you pay 3 less ink for the next character you play this turn. It's got 3 lore points as well. So very, very good when you're ramping into something. You just need to be playing a deck that can use this card to pay off on a big character. What that may be is completely up to you, I guess. It could be something like a big red character, a big blue character. It could be anything. I think it's probably got a decent home, but yeah, you just need to find the right card to pair with it. Just, so you can drop it. Right, Mufasa, 5-drop, 3/3 with 2 lore points. Whenever this character is banished, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character card, you may play that character for free, and they enter play exerted, otherwise put it on the top of your deck. Very good if you're playing a deck with a lot of expensive characters, but obviously there is a chance that you're going to reveal either a weak character or an action card and then you get nothing, and a 5-drop 3/3 just does not cut it. So if you build this deck around, I'm sure it will have a lot more success, but I'm not entirely convinced at how consistent it will be. But I do rate this card, so I hope it does see some success. But yeah, let's move on. So you got 3-drop Mulan, 3 Spirit, so 2 power, 3 toughness with 2 lore points, with support on it. There's nothing much to say about this one. There is a Mulan that you can shift into, but I don't think this is the right one to use on it. It's just a fairly average card. I think this one's pack filler. Right, speaking of that Mulan, there you go. So 4-drop Mulan Reflecting. So she's a 3/3 with 2 lore points with Shift 2. Whenever this character quests, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a song card, you may play it for free. Otherwise, put it on the top of your deck. So if you pair this with a little bit of deck manipulation, so things like Ursula's Cauldron, you can stack a song to the top. Absolutely fantastic. But I know for a fact that Ariel Spectacular Singer misses on songs a lot in the top 4. So only revealing the top 1, you really need to kind of be playing a lot of songs, or you're going to need to find a way of stacking the deck with a particular ability, because I think this will miss a lot of times otherwise. So yeah, just pair it with something that will help you get that song to the top. Okay, so we got 2-drop Nana, Darling Family Pet. So a 1/3 with 1 lore point. Whenever you play a Floodborn character, you may remove all damage from chosen character. Out of all the things that work with the Floodborn stuff, this is probably not the one. I don't think it's that particularly useful. I think this could have probably easily been a 1-drop, but I don't know. But yeah, I just don't think this one will see a lot of play. I guess we'll find out. Okay, so 3-drop Piglet. So it's a 2/4 with 2 lore points, no ability. It's not bad. It's pack filler again. I think it'll be very useful in a sealed event just because it has 4 toughness and 2 lore points. But I don't think it will see a lot of constructed play. Okay, 5-drop Rapunzel. So Gifted Artist. So she's a 0/6 with shift 3 and 2 lore points. Whenever you remove 1 or more damage from one of your characters, you may draw a card. So pair it with the right sort of deck. It will probably be used with Grand Pabby in blue to kind of create a Sapphire Amber heal deck. If you can get it working and you can find a consistent way of damaging your characters to heal them without challenging your opponent's stuff, then great, you've got a deck. But I don't think it will work too well because once your opponent realises what you're doing, they will start to play around it. But yeah, it's not bad if you can get it to work. So you've got 2-drop Rapunzel Sunshine, 1/4. Exert her to remove up to 2 damage from chosen character and 1 lore point. Again, not too bad. There are better Rapunzels in the game so far. So you could use this one to shift into the one we just saw, because the other Rapunzel is a 4-drop. So you'd kind of like be going backwards a little bit if you did it that way. So you might have to play it for just that. But I think you could just play the previous Rapunzel on its own and not worry about the shift ability. Then you got 2-drop Sleepy Nodding Off. So he's a 2 power, 3 toughness with 2 lore points. This character enters play exerted. So it's worth mentioning that with Snow White, this card does become a 1-drop 2/3 with 2 lore points, which is very good. Obviously, it does enter play exerted, so your opponent can challenge it straight away, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, he's not a little bad one. Kind of reminds me of, I think it's Diagraph Ghoul from Magic the Gathering, for anyone who plays that as well. So yeah, fun little card. Oh, there's a lot of dwarfs. So it's 2 power. It's a 2-drop Sneezy, very allergic. 1 power, 4 toughness with 1 lore point. Whenever you play this character or another 7 dwarfs character, you may give chosen character -1 power this turn. So again, becomes a 1-drop with Snow White. So it's all about challenging your opponent's stuff, boosting yours, making theirs smaller so you're winning in trades. That seems to be the best that these decks kind of can do. Not too much to say on this one. 4 toughness is quite good. But yeah. Right, 2-drop Snow White Lost in the Forest. 2 power, 3 toughness. When you play this character, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character with 1 lore point. So you don't need to pair this with the 7 Dwarves cards. You can just pair this in anything just to remove some damage. You can do it with the heal deck as well with Grand Pabby. So that will work quite well because you are developing a body as well as healing. So you can play this together with Rapunzel as well. Yeah, it's not too bad, this one. Yeah, I like this one. Right, here's the Snow White I keep referencing. So 2-drop Uninkable, Unexpected House Guest, 1 power, 2 toughness. You pay 1 less ink to play 7 Dwarves characters. So if you're playing a 7 Dwarves deck, this is an absolute 4 of. Just because it allows you to get your characters down nice and aggressively. Not too much to say on this one. I think you're probably not going to be questing with her too much, because as soon as you lose her, you're going to lose your discount. But it's nice, obviously, if you have multiple of these on board as well. You do get double the discount as well, so definitely worth considering. And then we've got 6-drop Uninkable Snow White Well-Wisher, 3 power, 5 toughness with 2 lore points. So legendary as well. So she has Shift 4. So you can play it on either of the Snow Whites that we've seen so far. And whenever this character quests, you may return a character card from your discard to your hand. So she's Hades, Lord of the Underworld. I was going to say on a body, but Hades is already on a body. But, you know, she's a reusable one as long as she survives. Yeah, it's quite useful. I mean, recursion is always going to be good, especially good in Amber. So yeah, I think this will see some play. I just don't know if it will be too slow overall, because if your opponent removes it before it even quests, then you've paid a lot of ink for nothing. Okay, so we've got 5-drop the Queen, Commanding Presence. So she's a 4 power, 3 toughness with 2 lore points with shift 2. And whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character gets -4 power this turn, and chosen character gets +4 power this turn. So this card is useful because of its shift 2 ability. So there is a 1-drop Queen in this set that you're going to be using to shift this onto. And then a lot of people are going to be using it in Amber Steel, so they can then play a whole new world to discard both hands and draw 7. So it's going to be very useful in a Stitch deck. They couldn't do this before with an Inkable guy anyway, because they used to use 1-drop Hook and 5-drop Hook to do an early a whole new world. But yeah, you don't even need to do that now. You can do it as early as turn 2 with this card. So it's going to be quite a scary deck. So you're going to be seeing this card a lot, in my opinion. Speaking of, there is a 1-drop Queen. So she's a 2/2 with 1 lore point. So this is going to go into Amber Steel. It's going to work with Rockstar Stitch as well. You will see this card on turn 1 very commonly, followed up by the previous Queen we just saw, to do a whole new world. So prepare that for the next metagame. Then we've got Hold Still, which is a 2-drop action card. Remove up to 4 damage from chosen character. Any cards that kind of action-wise that remove damage is not worth it. They are a -1 at the end of the day, even if it does work with Grandpappy. So I'd give this one a miss if I were you, and just use one of the more better heal cards. Then we got Last Stand. It's a 2-drop uninkable action card. Banish chosen character who has challenged this turn. This card is a -1 basically. I wouldn't advise using it. Even if you are technically trading a small character into a larger one, you're spending that character and then spending this, so you're putting yourself at a -1 straight away. It's uninkable as well, so your uninkable slots are going to be better off used elsewhere. Okay, so we've got a 2-drop, Painting the Roses Red. It's a song, so a character with cost 2 or more can sing this song for free. Up to 2 chosen characters get -1 power this turn, draw a card. So the fact it's a song and draws a card is already pretty good. The fact it gives your opponent's characters -1 power this turn is pretty good, but not that relevant. But this will be very good if you're using a deck that needs to play a lot of action cards in a turn to use its abilities. So I think this one will see a little bit of success in the future. Maybe not right now, but at worst it's a pay 2 to draw 1 card, or just sing it for free and draw 1 card. Okay, and then we've got a 3-drop action card, another song again. So World's Greatest Criminal Mind. Character cost 3 or more can sing this song for free. Banish chosen character with 5 power or more. So this is quite interesting. This is Amber's first piece of removal, but it is quite a situational one. So it always pretty meta relevant. So if there isn't a lot of characters that have 5 power in the game, in the competitive metagame anyway, this card's not going to see a ton of play. If there is a big deck that uses big characters, then it will see more play. But it all honestly depends, like I say, on the meta. But I do like this card. I think it's very good. It's probably worth picking up, a good couple of copies of it. Okay, so we got 2-drop, uninkable, 0 to hero. So it's a song. A character with cost 2 or more can sing this song for free. Count the number of characters you have in play. You may pay that amount of ink less for the next character you play this turn. So it's very useful if you can go wide very aggressively, because it will allow you to drop something big very quickly. It is a -1 in terms of playing that character, but if you can get a decent character in play that you can get a decent advantage from, then it will probably be worth it. But remember, it is uninkable, so just factor that in when you're building your deck. I think you'll see some success. I'm just not sure how relevant it will be in the competitive metagame. And then we got 3-drop uninkable Dragon Gem. So exert this card, pay 3 ink, return a character with support from your discard to your hand. I don't think this is this card's time to shine right now. I don't think there is enough relevant support cards to make it worth it. That could change in the future. Paying 3 ink and then getting a character back each turn is pretty good, considering we pay 4 ink to play Magic Mirror to just draw 1 card. So this one's not too bad. But yeah, until we get some more relevant support cards, this one can probably be sat in folders for a little while. And then we've got 2-drop uninkable Sleepy's Flute. So it's an item card, so exert. If you play the song this turn, gain 1 lore. That's pretty good. you'd have to obviously play it in a pretty song-centric deck, which outside of Steel Amber there isn't a huge amount, and whether this card can actually fit into that deck, I don't think so. So as useful as it is, I just don't think it will see a ton of play. Right, that's it. So we're going to be moving on to Amethyst next. So I hope you enjoyed this review. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe as well. We always do appreciate that. And we'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.